everybody, and welcome to the SingularityNET Insider, a series of video where we give our community updates on what goes behind the scene at SingularityNET. This is a monthly series, as the name suggests, and this is the second episode. So today we have a lineup packed of speakers. You're going to be seeing some of the new addition to the growing Singularity Net team and some of the people that are going to bring us to the phase two that I'm sure most of you are aware of. My name is Marcello Mari. I'm the Director of Communication at the Singularity Net Foundation, as well as the CEO of Singularity DAO. Um, Next on stage is our CEO and founder, Dr. Ben Goertzel, who's going to give us an overview of the latest updates of the SingularityNet ecosystem, as well as going through our roadmap for the next few months. So don't miss Ben. It's going to be an extremely interesting talk. Over to you, Ben. Thank you.
Ben Goertzel here. It's the end of March 2021, and this has been an incredibly exciting month for SingularityNet in so many different ways. So much is going on. My head is almost spinning. I don't know where to start. I guess I'll start with the SingularityNet software platform, which is really the foundation for all the other cool stuff that's going on. Obviously, the big news on the platform side is SingularityNet Phase 2, and in particular, the partnership with Cardano and IOHK. And our platform team is heavily focusing on that right now. In the immediate term, there's, I guess, 4 things. There's making the Cardano version of the token, and that's working now on the Cardano testnet. There's forking the Ethereum AGI token to create a new version that is able to be converted back and forth with the Cardano version of the token or other versions of the token. We got to get all the current Ethereum-based platform to work with the new version of the Ethereum token. There's working closely with the IOHK Cardano team on converting back and forth between the ADA and Ethereum versions, which ultimately there's going to be sophisticated ways to do that within the Cardano wallets. We're working on some shortcuts for that back and forth conversion that will let us launch it more quickly than the most sophisticated versions may be ready. Then working with the IOHK Cardano guys also on initial functionalities for the ADA, the Cardano version of the token. So say staking will be an early functionality. We're planning to offer significantly nicer staking rewards for the AGI on Cardano token than we have been for the Ethereum version, and most likely the staking contracts will be available before the full port of SingularityNet Marketplace to Cardano. In all of this, our goal is to make as much of the back end of SingularityNet blockchain independent as possible. I mean, some different code for different blockchains obviously is necessary. You got Solidity on the Ethereum side and Plutus on the Cardano side, but the inner workings of the marketplace, things like the reputation system, the AIDSL for agents to talk to each other, a lot of these things can be the same regardless of the underlying blockchain, and that's just better software design, right? And apart from Cardano stuff, other platform stuff on our minds, which is not getting as much attention as the Cardano integration now. I mean, we need to improve the SingularityNet platform in various ways so as to better enable broader adoption by AI developers and application developers and remove any obstacles that are slowing down adoption now. I mean, we need to simplify the AI setup on the platform. We need to finally get the crypto to fiat gateway out there, and the whole ecosystem is maturing there, which means there's new partners popping up who have solved many of the compliance issues across jurisdictions that have slowed down the rollout of the crypto to fiat gateway so far. We need to roll out additional licensing models with subscriptions and multi-tier pricing to more flexibly enable asynchronous requests into the platform, which will be important for machine learning model training, neural symbolic reasoning, and access to really large ML models like transformer neural net language models or something. Then we want to further simplify the SDK software development kit usage. Put sample projects online that can be downloaded and used in a sort of plug and play way by developers. So there's a whole lot of general platform improvements that are going to apply basically across the Ethereum and Cardano versions, as well as working on the port. I know we would have liked to release by this point in the year a detailed 2021 roadmap with like timeline for everything, but the thing we're running up against is a lot of the things we're working on, the timing and the amount of work that we have to do depends on the Cardano team's timing and the particulars of their deliverables. So we're working really well and really closely with the Cardano team, but dependence on their internal sort of delivery timelines for things means that it's hard for us to pin down the timing for everything we're doing. But I mean, we're working really hard. We're making incredible progress, and collaboration with IOHK is really being great. I mean, these are very, very knowledgeable, competent guys who are just a heck of a lot of fun to work with. So that's the platform. Now on top of the platform, I mean, there's a couple things inside SingularityNet Foundation that we're doing that I think are pretty significant. I mean, one is AI DSL, which I've talked about a bunch before. I mean, we're really making progress on that, which is a lot of fun to see. So we got a prototype going in the Idris functional programming language, which is sort of the next step beyond Haskell, which allows different AI agents to describe each other's properties to each other and automatically match up to each other if appropriate, without human intervention needed for the matching of the agents. And that's that's still at the advanced research phase. It's not ready to be integrated into the platform, but I think we're going to be able to stick it into the Cardano version of the SingularityNet marketplace and protocol not too long after we get the full marketplace running on Cardano. And then the OpenCog Hyperon system, which I'm viewing as the sort of artificial general intelligence core of the decentralized SingularityNet AI network. I mean, if we're going to get real general intelligence out of this whole decentralized network, there's going to be a lot of emergence there, but I think you also need some particular components in there that have some significant levels of general intelligence on their own to cause the broader general intelligence to crystallize. And Hyperon is our best effort at creating this AGI core for the whole artificial general intelligence core for the whole AGI token powered decentralized network. And we've been looking pretty hard at, how do you make OpenCog Hyperon not just distributed processing, but decentralized processing, leveraging the whole SingularityNet network, and also thinking about how do you use OpenCog Hyperon to help SingularityNet work better. So can we use Hyperon to implement the SingularityNet reputation system in a scalable and really intelligent way? Can we use it to implement offer networks which allow better matching of AI needs with AI requests? So I think we're going to see a lot of interesting stuff come out there. Again, this is advanced research phase, and it's stuff that will wind up on the Cardano version of the platform after we get all the more basic software engineering done to get the full platform and marketplace running on Cardano. Apart from all this stuff, which is sort of deep tech stuff inside the SingularityNet guts, we've been working a bunch with other SingularityNet ecosystem projects, which is also very exciting stuff. So I mean, the nifty drop that David Hansen and Andrea Bonacetto did regarding some art sort of co-created by Andrea, David Hansen, and Sophia, various software systems associated with Sophia's mind, and then Sophia's robot hand actually touching up the art and adding on to it. I mean, this was not in itself SingularityNet thing, though I was happy to play a role just by introducing Andrea and David Hansen and getting the whole thing going. But this it's a precursor of a bunch of similar and amazing stuff that's likely to happen through the Sophia DAO joint venture between SingularityNet Foundation and Hansen Robotics. I mean, Sophia DAO is about fostering Sophia's open source intelligence, creativity, and compassion in all sorts of different ways and dimensions. But creative arts has always been envisioned as a part of that. So I think the Sophia Nifty drop that already happened, very cool. And it's step one in a whole bunch of creative arts related stuff that we're going to see from not only Sophia but a bunch of other AIs running on top of SingularityNet platform. I mean, certainly SingularityNet, Cardano, and Sophia and Nifties are really a beautiful and natural combination. I myself have done a bunch of work on AI generation of music. Alexei Potapov and our team in St. Petersburg has done a bunch with AI generation of visual artwork. Sergei Shalapin in our natural language processing team in St. Petersburg has done a bunch with AI generated, poetry and creative prose of various sorts. So there's a whole bunch of work lurking in the background for creative arts based AI, which I think synergizes with Sophia DAO Nifties and Cardano in an exciting way, and we're sort of brewing that in the background. You can expect some cool stuff there. SingularityDAO, the decentralized finance project, is really picking up speed. I mean, we've got an engineering team working on building that now. We're not too far from having something interesting to launch. I mean, we're actively working both on the smart contract and the blockchain DeFi part, and on the AI financial prediction and altcoin market simulation part. So that's become quite active on the software development and machine learning experimentation side. And I'm pretty psyched about that as a way of leveraging a bunch of the machine learning and machine reasoning work that we've been doing sort of in the background in SingularityNet for a while. So I'm in predicting altcoin prices, doing risk management across AI curated portfolios of altcoins. It's a fun playground for a lot of the AI in our toolkit. Other ecosystem projects, NuNet, Rejuve, Accelerando, we've been doing a bunch of work on in the background. I guess I won't take time to tell you too much about that now, but to say that we've been deep in discussion with the Cardano team about how to use Plutus and how to use various features of Cardano native assets to really help these projects achieve what they need to achieve. And I think there's going to be some really interesting synergies there. I know of those three projects, NuNet, Rejuve, and Accelerando, they're all discussed a bit in the SingularityNet Phase 2 documentation. NuNet is decentralized processing across all sorts of different hardware devices. Rejuve is AI-powered machine learning applied to genomics and other sorts of medical data aimed at life extension. Accelerando Media, I've talked about less than the others, but Accelerando Media, it's on the one level, this will be a futurist website with just interesting news curated by AI algorithms and information pushed out to the reader about the future of technology. But it's also going to be a showcase for AI applied to media, both media articles and videos and images, and also social media in terms of comments and rating of comments and so forth. So we're looking at Accelerando Media both as a really cool way to use our AI to get better information about the future of technology out there, but also also as a prototyping and playground for AI applied to social media more generally. And I think the need for beneficial decentralized AI in the social media domain should be extremely well understood now. I mean, we look at what's going on with Twitter and Facebook and other major social media, and you can see the centralized companies are not doing a good job of applying machine learning and natural language processing for anyone's benefit except the benefit of their shareholders, right? And I mean that's not what society needs. If we want to move toward a beneficial technological singularity for all humanity, we need not only advanced AI software, we need advancement of consciousness and advancement of compassion in human society. And I mean, if we want to get there, we need the social media that increasingly are gluing us together to be controlled in a beneficial and decentralized way. This is not about any one media property, be it Facebook, Twitter, or Accelerando, but using our Accelerando media, sort of futurist news media website as a playground and testing ground and showcase for advanced AI technologies aimed at media and social media. I think there's a lot of future there. We've been working on that a bunch, and you can expect to see more. And yeah, lastly, we've been doing a lot of deep thinking about part of SingularityNET Phase 2 called deep funding, decentralized ecosystem project funding. I think 30% of the tokens that will be newly launched during Phase 2 are going into this deep funding pool, which means that community members will be democratically voting on what these tokens are used for, right? And community members will propose projects, and community members will vote on these projects. And we're going through a lot of thinking, discussion, and advice solicitation on the exact best way to manage this. I mean, this is a lot. It's a lot of tokens, but it's a huge opportunity. I mean, we put this into Phase 2 for a reason, because we need to move SingularityNET from being a foundation-driven project to ultimately being a DAO, which is entirely community-driven. And deep funding is intended as a mechanism to help make the project move in that direction, to becoming more and more community-driven. I think that the Cardano Catalyst program is a huge inspiration there, and we're likely to do something with deep funding, combined together with Cardano Catalyst very tightly with part of the deep funding. We're also looking at how do you do more sort of incubator / accelerator-ish stuff, where SingularityNET Foundation actively reaches out to entrepreneurial teams of developers or research teams that want to do stuff on the platform, and we help them through the process of gluing their team together, getting this stuff initially launched on the platform, and then applying to the community for deep funding. So we may have several different sort of sub mechanisms for leveraging the deep funding pool, all of which ultimately center on the community voting on community proposals. And I think this is going to be really critical to making the SingularityNET platform and ecosystem and community grow in the direction that we've always envisioned. You can expect to hear a bunch more on that also. Finally, I should briefly mention a couple exciting hires we've made. I mean, we are beefing up our executive and leadership team generally in preparation for going full speed ahead with incredible speed during Phase 2. And we're not done with this yet. You'll hear more about our expansion of the leadership team before long. But what I have to announce now, there's Jan Horlings as a VP of product, who will be working closely with a long time participant Ibi Benali, who's been promoted to VP of marketing. So as VP of product, Jan will be sort of taking charge of everything to do with the SingularityNet platform as a product. Like, what's the feature list and why? What features are being most requested by potential users out in the world in terms of AI application developers or AI algorithm developers, and really trying to shape up the platform into something that's incredibly appealing to a broad base of users. Then Mario Casiraghi we have brought on as Chief Financial Officer, and he is an amazing mix of traditional finance and investment banking background with crypto finance and tokenomics background. We'd been working with Mario a bit already. He'd been an advisor on the SingularityDAO project, and after seeing what he could do there, I really wanted to bring him into SingularityNET so that he could help us with everything, all matters financial and tokenomics. So I'm very psyched to have onboarded both Jan and Mario, and we're going to have a little bit more expansion on the leadership team before long, which I think we're really building like a power team that can lead SingularityNet to incredible new heights, working together with Cardano and most importantly together with the whole community, which I think is going to be massively energized by deep funding and various things that emerge in the ecosystem as a result of that. So yeah, that's sort of a wild ride through some of the cool things going on in my world and SingularityNet's world. This month, at this stage, each month is getting better and better. Things are really going very fast in a very exciting way, and there's no doubt 2021 is going to be a breakthrough year for the project.
Thank you so much, Ben. I'm so looking forward to the next development of SingularityNet and to what we should expect from phase 2 and our porting to Cardano. I know I've said that we're going to showcase some of the new addition to the teams, but next on stage is actually a veteran of the SingularityNet Foundation, Greg Kuebler, who's been leading the UI and UX experience of the SingularityNet platform for the past few years, working very closely with our development team. He hasn't been very visible. You might have not seen him before, but he's very active on the behind the scene of SingularityNet. And today he's gonna tell us more about the reasoning that goes behind the UX and UI design of the SingularityNet AI platform. So over to you, Greg. Thank you.
Thanks, Marcello, for letting me be here today to talk to all our followers of SingularityNet Foundation and stuff. Just want to again say my name is Greg Kuebler. I'm the principal UX designer at SingularityNet. So as a UX designer, usually UX designer is someone who's like creating the UI, the user flows, using user testing data to design the complicated aspects of the projects that Singularity is involved with, which includes the platform. So I've been with Singularity for about 2 years. My first year, we basically started with the platform where they kind of built up the proof of concept in general. And then I came in and was doing the evaluation of like, so how do we build this with like more UX centric focus and abilities to make it scalable for future for both the tech and the design. So as a UX designer, I came in and I work with multiple teams all across the world with Singularity. So with the platform team, for example, that's Ram's team in Bangalore. So I work a lot on a day, pretty much every day, with that team building and scaling and designing and testing and doing all the kind of feature additions that we've been doing over the past 2 years with the platform. So and I also work with other team members across the world in Ethiopia, in Brazil, in Europe, and sometimes the U.S. And I'm actually based in Taiwan right now. When I first started with Singularity, I was based in Shenzhen, China, / Hong Kong, from time to time. So that's where I function out of. So the team in India is a good time zone for me. So usually I can start working with them around at noon my day. So Singularity has been working remotely before the pandemic and also during the pandemic. So we're kind of used to working remotely with the different disciplines of the company. So the AI scientists are all over the world, and a lot of tech team is in Asia and in India. So with the time zone differences, we got used to working remotely in a methodical way. It's not always easy. I know a lot of companies during the pandemic was trying to figure out how to work remotely with a full remote workforce. Singularity's foundation and the teams are really good at that already. So, and it takes practice, obviously. And it's a different way to work than going into an office from day to day, which I do miss sometimes. But working remotely is also, when you're working with a brilliant team across Singularity, it works really well because everybody's well disciplined and some doesn't need much management necessarily because everybody's good at what they do and applies it within the team effort pretty well. So you see my screen here. I'm the designer, so I'm going to go walk through some of the platform and the projects that we've been doing over the past year. Like I said, when I first started, it was just one kind of website, which was the AI marketplace. It was more of a proof of concept. So it was like how to turn this proof of concept into a full-scale platform with different sites and components that affect different types of users. So what you're familiar with is probably, as you can see on my screen here, I'm going to shrink down my recording a little bit, this is the AI marketplace. Now, as it evolved quite a bit over time, I could probably show you it's not necessarily to show you what it looked like, the proof of concept, but it's massively different. So the AI marketplace is just one component, one little product of the platform. We also have the publisher portal, which we also designed and released about a year ago as well. We also have AGI staking, which is another component for people who want to stake their AGI and earn extra AGI or etc. rewards. And we also have the RFAI, which is request for AI. We also built that, and we also built the dev portal, which allows both the users of the AI marketplace and the developers, platform developers, AI developers, and everybody basically allow AI developers to publish their AI on blockchain. So all these are connected, but they're all obviously from a UX design standpoint, which UX stands for user experience, by the way. So the different user types use each one of these in different ways. So designing a platform is actually a very complicated process. So when I first started, we started with the AI marketplace, and basically it was taking that proof of concept that was having AI services on the blockchain, then be able to interface into this website that everybody can have access to or try out per se, with certain demo credits or AGI credits or whatever functions they were trying to do as far as integrate the AI. So when there was not any really major designers on the team, so I was basically the only one, but eventually we hired some people in India. So I have a UX designer in India, his name is Sujith, and he's been working with me hand in hand on building a design system. So we built a whole design system for this platform, and that's what we did from the beginning, because we knew we need to not just work on one project, skip over and kind of create a different look and feel or function on another one. Now the products will function differently, but the look and feel should be unified so that users who interact with multiple parts of the platform will be familiar with the aspects of the interface. So it's not like jarring or so it's familiar. So we started with a design system. Now with our design team, or me and Sujith and a few other people, we use Sketch. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's a good software that designers across the world and agencies and corporate 500 companies or small companies and startups use as well. Allows you to and Sketch looks like this. I'll show you what Sketch looks like. So let me get a different project. So this is the AI marketplace. So this is a Sketch. Sketch is a good design software that has tested the time pretty well, and it's pretty much industry standard. I do use Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator, but I don't use that for design of the UI necessarily because it's not really geared towards that. I don't use Adobe XD either. I'm not a big fan of XD right now, but I hear it's good and people are starting to use it, or designers, when I say people, designers are starting to kind of gravitate more towards that software. But I use Sketch. So what's good about Sketch is it has library components and design elements that allows us to scale the design system across all the projects, all the products. And we use Sketch, and then I use it in coordination with Envision. So let me show you Envision. Envision looks like this. And Envision, let's go to envision.com. We use Envision to publish our designs into clickable prototypes that people and our stakeholders and my bosses and Ben and Casio and other people on the team can like see and test, and especially for the tech team to kind of play around with. So with this Envision, I have 4 projects here, and you can check out one of them. I guess AI Marketplace one. So with this tool allows us to basically, I'll just see if we can start somewhere. It's a good starting point. So with this, it pulls up the design, and it's similar to the website now, but basically allows us to mock up and see it on how it's going to be viewed at certain grid sizes and scales. And we have clickable areas, so we have the menu kind of clickable. This is not live on the website, but this is the Envision prototype. So it allows us to kind of test this out, go to different pages and see how that kind of works. And also with Envision, it allows our developers to pull code from our designs that was uploaded from Sketch. So here's inspect mode for Envision, which allows our developers to pull the styles, the buttons, all that kind of stuff, so they can get the specs. So if I double click a button, for example, I can get the styles and code snippets for this so that they can get the specs from it. So that's how we transition our designs. We don't just like send them images all day, every day. That would be a lot of work for just a few designers, and obviously excessive amount of work for the developers. But with the developers, they can just come here and break down and grab, if they need this image, download all formats. So we format all the images for low res mobile all the way up to desktop to high resolution, so that when passing assets, it's even done through Envision. So we don't have to do like emails or crazy amount of links to Google Drive or Dropbox. So here you can pull the content directly. They can grab the text. So if we grab here, so they get all the styles of this text, including the text content itself. So with this, it's a very powerful tool with a combination of Sketch and Envision. It's a lightweight, it's cheap software. Adobe is expensive, but we still use Adobe to master some illustrations and things like that. But for interface and for review and testing, we even use Envision for testing. So we might send this out to a beta test user group and have them click through this. and we can gather their comments. They can add comments and say, I don't like this, or I don't like that, or we can actually see how they're flowing through the various flows. So that's what a very important part of Singularity's platform is, testing the flows, because it's a very complicated platform, because it's on the blockchain, it's using AI, it's very futuristic in a lot of the elements of how you integrate and how people buy or sell or view AI in general. So we needed tools like Envision and Sketch and other aspects to develop these flows and styles and systems, the design system. So we first started with the AI marketplace. We built the design system. Design system is kind of like back here. I can show you a little bit of component of the design system. So we have like all the different buttons, all the fields, and we use these kind of components or symbols and these styles all across all the products, because it's mostly reusable. So if we build a pattern for the AI marketplace, we use some of it for the publisher. Now, some of the publisher is a little more complicated interface because it's dealing with different kind of inputs and outputs, but the UI is using the same elements. And so we borrow various atoms or molecules of the UI onto the publisher. So it's a very efficient system, and also allows for other designers who come later on the project or get hired, or if I'm too busy on a project, I can give the sketch files or versus some of the UI elements to another designer in another part of the world, and they can pick up for where I left off. So we built basically a design system, and we use Google Material here at Singularity Foundation, so the SingularityNET. So we adopted the Google Material because we chose that because we were using React in some cases, and their Material UI was pretty ubiquitously good and stable. So, and it's also a pattern that works well with desktop or desktop applications, but also for mobile, because we also know the future of Singularity has mobile applications here and there. We haven't launched a few of those yet, but we're soon to launch at least the Rejuve app and a few other apps. So some of my projects scale from doing this platform, also building mobile apps for other parts of the spin-offs of Singularity, such as Rejuve or potentially other spin-offs like NewNets that you might have seen earlier in another video cast by Marcello. But so we built a design system. We use Google Material guide principles. So it's like if you just Google Material design system or design, you'll get their website, and it's really a principle of basic. It's a guide of principles of UX. So I adopted because it met all the kind of the challenges and aspects that I've learned through the UX through the years of working in fintech and media and academia. So it was very scalable, and also it was a system that they were progressively updating and adding more support for complicated dashboard and desktop applications as well, versus some of the other design systems or principles like Samsung One or whatever, or Atom and the Atomizer. They were more sometimes focused on one niche, like a desktop application or just mobile, and we needed a system that could do everything and be around, right? Because sometimes there's some cool stuff coming out in the design world, but sometimes it only lasts for a year or two or a couple, and then without like added changes or evolving, because the internet evolves, the web evolves, the protocols evolve, the blockchain evolves, the AI evolves. So like everything evolves. So the design system has to kind of be flexible to a certain degree. And we've adapted parts of Google Material, not fully, but we made our own changes. So some of it's custom, but a lot of the base elements is from Google. So looking at some of this kind of stuff, we have like toggles and different kind of things and checkboxes. So that's just an example. Loaders, we have a lot of loaders, and because the blockchain and the interaction of our platform with other third parties like MetaMask is also a complicated thing. So that's why you need a UX designer to come in and test and work with a tech team, and I work closely with a tech team, and that's what a good UX designer usually does, is work close with a tech team so that everybody's in sync. We're like kind of like the middleman between the design and the product and the technical aspects too, and as well as testing and making sure the QA process is, what we design actually gets built in the right, correct manner. So this is Sketch. You can see from a high level view, you can do multiple huge layouts. I can show you the publisher is very complicated, where we have lots of, each one of these are pages, and the UI changes everywhere. These are all different states, and to test out the MVP. So this is how we rapidly built the whole platform in 1 year with Ram's team, is by building the design system, scaling it, and then using the patterns that we built for one component into the other. Now, sometimes we'll be working on a new part of the platform. We might have to go back and update a little bit of the other one if we adapt or change the Google Material Design System, or our customized version of the system. So that's the high level view of the platform. As you see, we have a lot of different kind of parts of the sites. Trying to think about like what would be most interesting for you guys. I know not everybody always cares about the design of a system or of a platform, but just to give you a good idea, like, and you guys know, like, it's complicated, right? This Singularity's platform is complicated. We can go into maybe the AGI staking, which we built a little bit later after the AI platform, but you can see the back hood of a lot of the AGI staking is very complicated. There's lots of different interface and information we have to relay to the users so that they clearly understand the time components and the amounts that they've inputted into the stake, and how long the stake is going, and how long and what they'll get out of it. So even this one, it's relatively a simple flow, but there's quite a bit of back-end states that we have to relay to each user type, essentially. We use a lot of tooltips here that have that explain all the jargon. Not even jargon, it's just like when we're building something like the AGI staking, a lot of the terms are kind of new for people that are new to staking, for example, or not familiar with that particular niche of the internet, or that fintech kind of nature. So even on the UX level, it's not just the UI, but understanding what, like, the common labels, because our user base is global. So obviously the interface is mostly in English, but we have to be cognizant about not just English natives, but people that learn English as a second language, and making sure our labels are very clear and the content. So we spend a lot of time on the content and the labels of the interface, and that's very important for the publisher, because the publisher, that's completely new product, product in the world of AI. It was like how to publish AI to a blockchain, and there's not a whole lot of competitors out there that have done this, because it's kind of the frontier in different ways. So part of my job is to kind of understand that what we're building is very new, which means we have to test a lot, and we're continuously testing. And when we're building something, we also build it so that we can scale. We can't just build everything at once. We build it in parts, so we call that an MVP. Is basically means most viable product, minimal viable product. So we try to get the baseline, and then we do iterative design. So we build on top of what we did before. We add a feature. We don't build all the features at the same time, but we build like the core constructs, and then we kind of keep building the enhancements. So that's why our platform is in beta for a while, and even still, but as you can kind of see now, it's getting a little bit more refined. And when we switch to the Cardano, or add the Cardano blockchain system in, we can, because we have a design system that we can build iteratively onto. So we're not throwing away all our work from the previous blockchain. We can actually easily add another system, maybe even another wallet, or we can add a fiat like PayPal, crypto to fiat kind of thing like PayPal. So when we added PayPal, that wasn't too drastic on the UI design. We didn't have to make a new thing. We built it so well that we could scale it really easily. Now, that's not the same for the backend. The backend's a different story, and we'll detail about like how tech design or how design works with tech. And maybe that will be later with another episode that Marcello will be hosting, and we can talk about that. But I might be going on too long here, but yeah, like I said, my name is Greg Kuebler, UX Principal Designer here. If you have questions or whatever, feel free to find me on the internet, on LinkedIn or on Singularity. If there's any interest, I can give my email out later. I don't want to put it on the podcast right now, but maybe in the description or something. So yeah, that's generally my workflow. Like I said, building a design system is not easy. A lot of designers really don't know how to do that or not familiar with it. Not one that's so big that Singularities has. And the design system kind of scales even to Singularity's homepage, which is information site, but we use the design system there as well. So it made designing that super quick. We pretty much redesigned it, launched a new version out in like a month. So that's the power of a design system. And design systems aren't easy because they're ever changing, and how do you change the libraries and all that stuff. And again, like I said, we'll talk about how design gets to tech and how how tech uses components and stuff like that. If there's some interest in that, we can talk to Ram's team and explain how we have our daily scrums and how we exchange our information about the design and the progress of the technical development. But yeah, I just want to say thanks. Thanks for having me on here, and hopefully this was a little bit informative about how we do design at SingularityNET. And we're looking forward to a lot of the new projects coming in the future, especially with the Cardano and what Marcello is working on with the SingularityDAO, Sophia DAO. All those things are new, and we're going to be scaling our design right into that. So it'll be kind of fun, and we might even be building up the design team. So we're always on the lookout for new UX designers that are interested in this space and interested in working with us on making the future of decentralized AI.
Thank you so much, Greg. Really, really insightful video on most of the things that goes behind the reasoning of how our platform is built are so fascinating. And actually, there is a lot of thought process about driving the user experience across our platform. And I hope that this video was also interesting for our audience. And now let's go through introducing the first one of our of the new addition to our team that we're gonna present today. And actually, he's a dear community member that most of you have seen active in our Telegram community. And as it happens, relationships start from casual things. So we got to know Jan Horlings because he was an active community member, and we really appreciated his suggestion and his thoughtfulness regarding SingularityNET and his that knowledge of our ecosystem. So after building that relationship and after a few chats, we decided that Jan was the perfect person to lead the product development of the platform, which follows very well the previous talk by Greg. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome Jan Horlings to the SingularityNET team as the new VP of product. And now over to you, Jan. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jan Horlings. I will be the new VP of products for SingularityNET. And nothing could make me more happy and more proud than just saying these words that I just spoke. So let me tell you a little bit about myself and how I came into this sphere, this whole crypto sphere to start with. And that was back in 2017. I needed something to put my teeth in. I found crypto. I thought that's a good subject. I fell down the rabbit hole and I saw all this wall of information coming at me. The more you find out, the more information there is, and it's a lot to absorb. So within this whole massive amount of information, there was one project that really stood out to me, that captured my heart basically. And that was SingularityNET. And it was all about blockchain and AI, two fantastic technologies at the forefront of innovation, being married together to something even greater. Yeah, that made my imagination work over hours, and it still does. So I grabbed on. I took in everything I could from the organization, everything that was published, and I still do until this day. So started to write some articles. You can still find them on Medium if you're interested. And started to become more active in the community basically. So being a bit more vocal, but also creating some stuff that hopefully was useful. And it also ended up with the Phase 2 initiative, that I had this very small but crucial role that also honestly made me really proud, where I made the suggestion that not to divide the tokens over 5 years, but do it more in an algorithmic way, which ended up in being 91 years right now for the total distribution. And on one hand, that made me proud that I was listened to in that way and taken seriously, but it's also a huge compliment to the organization that while in such a crucial moment of their existence, and in this short time frame, they had the flexibility of mind to absorb the ideas from the community, filter them, and actually use what they thought would be helpful in the time frame of, I don't know, a week or so. So big compliment, not so much to me, but to the organization to handle these kinds of things. And that makes me really hopeful and positive for the future. So I think there's a lot we can achieve if we keep listening like that. And I'll come back to that later. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself, where I come from. So I live in the Netherlands. I have a wife, 2 children, live in the beautiful city of Eindhoven. I studied industrial design over here, so I have not a real technical background. But I work with developers and development team and UXers, etc. for all my working life. So my first job was for an Israeli company that made educational software. It was in the time that this was called multimedia. The old ones like me still remember. That was hip back then, but it was basically a bunch of CD-ROMs that you could put in your computer, a completely different time. But they were ahead of the pack, way ahead of the pack, and I thought if I can work with that organization, how great would that be? And half a year later, that was the case. And basically, I'm right now in exactly the same situation. I've been thinking probably for years already, not seriously, but just thinking, how amazing would it be if I could work for SingularityNET, bringing coffee around or something. But here I am. I'm at what for me represents the most fascinating organization I can think of that I know, and have the opportunity to fulfill the most interesting, fascinating role within that organization that could be possible for me. So again, that makes me really proud. So after my first endeavor with this educational company, I started working for a company that was big in content management systems. They were about the top 5 in the Netherlands or so. So we were working mainly for a large organization, and we're doing that in the role of project manager. My first company was visual designer actually, That's really a long time ago. And then my second role was project manager. Stayed there for quite a long time, and that led to my current role, which is business consultant, business strategy consultant currently for an e-business organization. And what this organization does, it helps develop web shops, but not just web shops, that's just the part that's visible, but mainly also everything that is behind it. So that is e-procurement, supplier onboarding, product information management, the sales channel, which is often a website, and fulfillment, everything that is related to that. And I think as a red thread throughout my career, but also in my last job, what motivates me, what gives a good picture of where I stand, is that I always try to look at these solutions from three perspectives. And the three perspectives are the IT perspective. So in my current job, old job, whatever, I would go to an organization and analyze their solution landscape, analyze their processes, analyze their data silos very often, and make a gap analysis. And then there's the perspective of the business, which is also crucial, of course. So what are the budgets? What is the time? What is the business case behind it? What is the reason why we're doing it? What does your P&L look like? Maybe we can make one for you. So that's the whole business side of it, which is maybe equally important. And then, of course, you probably can guess what the third perspective is, and that is the customer. And I also see a big role for me as the voice of the customer in SingularityNET. Not the only one, but one of the ambassadors of the customer. And in the case of SingularityNET, I guess the customer represents AI service providers and AI service consumers. Those are two segments of customers that I will always be thinking about. So whatever we will do, I will always ask, how does this help the AI consumer, and how does this help the AI publisher? But I will also don't forget about the other two perspectives. So I like to be in the middle of all this, coordinating the work of all the wonderful experts around here, which I never do better, but I can connect all the dots between all these experts. And then also make sure that we prioritize all the work. I mean, there are a lot of ideas, a lot of things that we can do. You need to prioritize them properly and then put them in a kind of roadmap. So things become a little bit predictable. And we do the things that matter most at first. I also expect that we will, so what I like about SingularityNET, what I really like, is that they never fail to think big. They have now 3, 4, 5 projects running, and every single one of them, if rolled out properly and if successful, could change the world, basically, in a way. So they never fail to think big. On the other hand, and I think the organization is also completely with me there, is that for each of these initiatives we need to start small. So that would also be my aim, to have this big goal. I think it's really important and nice to think about that, know where you're heading, but then maybe the first solution we bring to the market will not have all the features yet that you will expect in years to come. And the benefit of that is that with this small minimum viable product, or whatever you want to call it, we can already get feedback. We can get feedback from you. And so you can expect me. I'm still a community member right now. And I've been a community member for many years, and I've been communicating with you, and I know what it is. But also now I'm, so to speak, on the inside. I expect to be communicating with you also a lot, one way or another. I don't know in what form, in what shape, but I hope to be able to collect a lot of valuable and constructive feedback from all of you, because that is what we need. And that way, together, we can all make us and make SingularityNET stronger. And yeah, I think we all understand that that is what the world needs. So it's not just, maybe I didn't mention that yet now, but it is an important factor. It's not just about cool technology. It's also about being able to make the world a better place. So you see my eyes sparkle right now, because how amazing is it that you can do a job that you love for a company that you admire like no one, and at the same time are convinced that you're doing good for the world. So yeah, for me, that sums it up completely. And I'm counting on your help and support for the months and hopefully years to come. So that's about it for now. Maybe you'll be seeing more of me in the future. I hope so. If you have any questions, reach out. If you have any ideas or suggestions, also reach out. Whether I'm asking for it or whether it's proactive, I'm looking forward to everything. And you can be convinced that from my part, I will be doing my absolute best to make this a great success. Thank you.
Okay, and we're very excited to have you, Jan. Thanks a lot for joining our team, and we all look forward to be working closely with you on the product development of our AI platform. Now a little bit of update about SingularityDAO and where we are at with SingularityDAO. I know that the community is very excited about what we are building. We're going to be increasing our communication flow from now on as we are getting closer to the launch of SingularityDAO. By now, you should know that we are going to include our community big time into the construction of the SingularityDAO ecosystem. And it's been announced before, but I would like to make it fairly official. I mean, things can always change due to unforeseen circumstances, but I would like to announce that in the moment that we're going to be ready to, in the moment that we launch our token, we're going to be airdropping 5% of the total SingularityDAO governance token supply to our community of AGI token holders. I believe this is quite unique in the crypto community, but we really want to reward the loyalty and engagement of the SingularityNET community, and the fact that you guys have been sticking with us through the good and the bad times. I know that crypto winter has been harsh for everybody. It was difficult for us from a mental and professional point of view, but thanks to your support, we made it through, and we are finally enjoying the sun of a beautiful crypto summer. And for this reason, we want to reward the most loyal of you, the one that have been sticking with us with SingularityNET, and we will reward you by airdropping a good portion of the SingularityDAO governance token. So I really hope that this news that was already ventilated actually by Ben in the past, but I think it's now time to make it official. So hold on to your AGI tokens because that will give you great privileges in the SingularityDAO ecosystem. I'm very excited to share this news with you, and in the next few weeks we're gonna have more and more updates about the launch of SingularityDAO. So please stick with us. Subscribe to the SingularityDAO Medium blog. Subscribe to our communication channels, to our social channels, where from now on, we're going to be more active. And please join the Singularity DAO Telegram community, which is going to be our primary communication channel. So hope you're excited about this. Next on stage, somebody that is helping me a lot on the Singularity DAO front. One of my co-founders, together with Ben of Singularity DAO, Mario Alberto Casiraghi. So as the name suggests, Mario is also a fellow Italian like me. We've been knowing each other for a long time, since in London when Mario was managing a community for blockchain education in London, and at the time I was also managing a community in tech and startups. So kind of fit together very well. We've been friends for a long time. We worked on a few projects together, and it's really my pleasure to see him joining the SingularityNET ecosystem, SingularityNET family, apologies, as the new CFO, so Chief Financial Officer. Mario covers, has a great responsibility within our ecosystem, and also within the Singularity DAO ecosystem. So, but he also has a great experience in the sector. So I'm gonna let Mario introduce himself, and for me, it's an honor and a privilege to be working with alongside a dear friend. And over to you, Mario. Thank you.
Hi everybody, this is Mario Alberto Casiraghi, and I'm the new CFO of SingularityNET. I'm really excited to be here, and I've been looking forward to meet you all, and so this is a real pleasure. This is just a quick message to introduce myself and explain what my goals are and what I'm doing these days. So a little bit of background on who I am. I start my career in economics and finance, which is what I studied in Italy, where I'm from, and then internationally in the US, Canada, Paris, and London. London is then where I stayed for over 6 years in investment banking, working with large corporate to raise capital via structured products. I worked for major American banks and European banks, and so I did that from 2011-12 till 2017. While working in these places, I had a lot of inputs, and it was great to a certain extent, because working for such large corporations that are so strategic to the economies locally and cross-border allowed me to understand how economies work, which is something that I find really fascinating. But at the same time, life in an investment bank is not really the best, and not many people actually appreciate this benefit. They more look for short-term incentives. And so the second piece is that when you work for these large corporations, you also realize how much sunk costs go in efficiencies, in time spent, in politics, and not value-producing activities. And so in 2016, I started looking into what fintech solutions could change this, and I had completely missed Bitcoin's power back in 2011-13, when it started capturing the first few news. What made me understand the extent of the power of blockchain was actually Ethereum, programmable money, and smart contracts. So that was much closer to what I was doing, and I realized how powerful that could be for financial applications. So then I took that and started studying a lot, and I the first thing that I did in blockchain was launching a community in London, Blockchain and Finance, back beginning of 2017, which wanted to bring together the communities of financial professionals and tech professionals working on blockchain. kind of foreseeing what DeFi would become in a way that basically my statement was these two communities will end up working together very soon, and so rather than looking at each other like enemies, we should start communicating and understanding each other, and start to shape the world that will be, which is what's happening today, right, with DeFi and many other things in blockchain. During that period, I met Marcello Mari, who's very well known to you all, and basically we did a project together, and then we parted ways. He came back to you guys, and I went on co-founding another project, always in the space that has been quite successful. And I'm a co-founder of that, been doing that for the past 2.5 years. However, I've always followed Singularity. I've been part of the community itself, and I've always been close to the people within Singularity. So when towards the end of last year, Ben had the idea of creating a foray for SingularityNET into DeFi, and the idea of SingularityDAO came about. Marcello and Ben looked for financial savvy professionals that could help, and so I started as an advisor for SingularityDAO. That relationship evolved into getting on board a bit more significantly with SingularityDAO, which happened at the beginning of this year, and then little by little our relationships kind of extended, and I was offered to become head of finance for the entire SingularityNET ecosystem, which was an honor. It is an honor today, and there's a lot of cool things that we can do together. So when starting to interact with SingularityNET, I firstly realized, but that's pretty clear, the amount of value generated by the people and by the activities performed by these people. Arguably, SingularityNET is the biggest non-corporate AI community that exists, and on top of that, it has created also this amazing blockchain focused but more project focused community that has been so loyal for such a long time, and that has helped the project going, navigating through bad times. And so we're now in a situation where things have turned, and there's big opportunities for all, for the entire wider ecosystem. The foundation is becoming really active in pushing forward and implementing new cool projects, and the community has had the ability to revamp and grow again, thanks to a lot of activity and from SingularityNET. So at the moment, we're very excited of everything that is happening around SingularityDAO. SingularityDAO is really close to come your way, but we're extremely excited about what we've built, the team that we've built, the support, and from the SingularityNET Foundation, the type of application that this will have for decentralized finance for everybody, and in particular for SingularityNET's ecosystem and token holders. So this has stayed a part of my mandate. So I joined the SingularityDAO, and I'll stay as a SingularityDAO, working along with Marcello, Ibi, Anton, and Jerome. But after this new proposal, my mandate is increased onto becoming lead of one of the 3 pillars of the phase 2, which is financial health. And I'm super excited to take over that. I think, again, even in this space, on the current economic basis that we're on today, there are already big opportunities for AGI token holders, and ability to create value and generate value for everybody. SingularityDAO will accelerate that, and this should allow all of us to be in a better position to be able to make the foundation really solid, not only in this really positive market environment, but also on the long run when the next bull market comes along, and just making it a real powerhouse that can push innovation on both AI and blockchain separately as well as jointly, so that we'll diversify the risk from crypto-only markets, and we'll be able to capture as much value as possible for us and for the community from the activities that all these amazing people are running within the SingularityNET community and ecosystem. So that's why I'm here. There's a lot to do, but they're all super exciting activities. Amazing group of people. From the inside is even better than when it looks from the outside. And so we're already working together towards common goals. And there will be a lot of activities, news, and things to do together in the next few months. So I joined only a few weeks ago, but I've had the opportunity of speaking to many people, and I've realized that the vision of this project is futuristic, but it's not impossible, and it's definitely one core force of evolution of society. And I truly believe, the more I look into this, the more I'm convinced that this is a project, this is a group of people and a community that can really shape the digital world of the future, but also the physical world of the future, with the right principle in place, and not only driven by financial gain and corporate politics. So that has always been, from when I'm in contact with the people and this community, has always been kind of the goal, decentralized AGI, and I truly believe that this is the best team to try to do that in this world, in this moment, and yeah, in this time. So yeah, that's about me. Super thrilled to be here. Super cool to meet you all, guys. And stay tuned. There will be a lot going on very soon.
Nice. Thanks a lot, Mario. Thanks for your introductory video. We're very excited to have you on board, as well as we are super excited to have all the new addition to the SingularityNET team that is currently growing, and we're really looking forward to a bright future. So we now came to the conclusion of this about hour-long Insider Monthly update, second episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please stay with us, like and subscribe our YouTube channel. We are putting on more and more content. I hope you've enjoyed the DOS web series so far. We have more episodes coming soon this month. We have another great episode with Dr. Gabriel Axel Montes of Decentralized Consciousness next week, next Tuesday coming up. And then we have Decentralized Health with Ray Dogum, who's going to interview Dr. Eva K. Lee, who's going to present some of her new findings in our research regarding the pandemic. I haven't watched it yet, apologies, but I'm sure it's going to be great. Dr. Eva Lee, she has come to our channel a couple of times already, and we know her very well. So please stay tuned with us. Subscribe to our communities, our social communities. Don't forget to join SingularityDAO Telegram channel for for new updates. We're going to look forward to produce another book review video by Dr. Ben Goertzel, our beloved Ben. Shout out to the community member of the month, Princess Zolgo, one of our princesses of our Telegram communities. Thanks a lot for your help and your contribution. But everyone else who's helping us on a daily basis on the community and is interacting and supporting us, you have our attention. We're not that active sometimes because we're buried under the many projects that we are following up with. But we know you, and we immensely appreciate your support. So yeah, a lot more coming up under the SingularityNET hood. So please stay with us, and thank you so much for watching this episode of the SingularityNET Insider Monthly. See you next month. Bye.